Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations. It's time to look at the final episode of Star Trek TOS. In this case, it's episode Turnabout Intruder. But what happened in this episode? Goodbye, Lily. In this episode, a woman switches bodies with Captain Kirk and then tries to take over command of the Enterprise.
Agony will soon pass as it has for me.
I'm gonna be honest, before I saw this episode, I had slightly had known about this episode. Mostly because I had heard Alison Pregler talk about it before. And I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, this episode is bad as I thought it would be. Mostly because I've heard, like, this episode is kind of, in a way, a bit sexist. I mean, I'm gonna be thinking about it this way. Like, although, like, Star Trek, in a way, when it was a little bit away, one could say, a bit of a progressive show. And that, like, it wasn't just, like, saying, oh, hey, like, it wouldn't be, like, say, like, you know, the liberal fashion kind of show, like, you know, like, people wouldn't want to watch today, kind of, do, but, you know, it had, like, say, hey, everyone living together, perfect society, you know, no one has any issues with each other. But it does make me question this. So, Dr. Janice Lester wants to be a captain of a starship. Yet, the thing is, like, at one point in the episode, it's like, Kirk goes, like, say, oh, a woman being in charge of a starship. It's like, which makes me think, like, so, like, in original run TOS, so you're trying to tell me that there was no women who had the opportunity to have gotten to the position of having to be the captain of a starship. I mean, that probably would have been changed in the expanded universe. But you're really telling me, in the original run, there was no case of a female captain. Besides, like, mostly just Shatner hamming it up, and this episode just being goofy as can be. I will say that, like, yeah, like, the episode can come, like, you know, the way it is written, that is. Mostly whether it is, like, say, like, like, you know, like, say, some, like, you know, Janice Lester and Kirk's body.
Sorry, but I'm going to have to take you off the case.
On this ship, my medical authority is final. I won't allow it.
It's done.
Security guard!
Attention all personnel. First Officer Spock has been placed under arrest on the charge of mutiny.
Saying, like, say, oh, Kirk, how terrible it must be to be in a woman or something like that. And, yeah, I mean, so the story was by Gene Roddenberry, but the teleplay was by Arthur H. Singer. I'm wondering what would have happened if this episode had actually been written by D.C. Fontana. Because, like, it makes me wonder, like, how would a woman have, like, given, like, you know, her perspective on all this? And I do have to say, while it's said that this was the final, like, you know, the finale of the show, in general, like, the final episode before, the motion picture. And at the same time, like, you know, like, like, back in, like, say, 1969, June the 3rd, 1969, the audience members probably didn't know, like, say, well, this is the final time we're going to see these characters together.
The statements placed into the record by you. Do you understand the nature of it?
I do, and I stand by it.
It is mutiny! Deliberate, vindictive, insane at its base. But mutiny is charged, and encouragement of mutiny.
In a way. And yeah, it's not the best. I will say that the parts of it where, like, say, hey... Like, there's a moment where Janice Lester is, near the end of the episode, like, when, after she is gotten back into her own body. Like, at one point, she, like, you know, after she has, like, you know, her conscious has left Kirk's body, and, you know, she has, like, left, gone back into her body, and she's really upset, I guess, like, the fact that she's back in the body of a female. It just makes me wonder, though, could she have been, like, say, been, like, you know, like, by today's standards, would that have been, like, say, the eyes of, like, say, like, a woman, like, questioning her gender, like, say, I'm not a woman kind of deal, or something like that? But I also have to think it, though, is in the fact that maybe Janice Lester, story-wise, like, no one really took her serious as like, wanting to be a captain, or something like that. And then, or something, I could totally be wrong about this, but is this episode, like, you know, like, I think Shatner gives it all he can when it comes to hamming it up.
We'll be charged with mutiny. You will obey my orders, or... Oh. Kill him! Go!
And, well, especially with what the script is, though. But what are your thoughts on the episode Turnabout Intruder, the final episode of TOS?